Katie, what do you think? Do you think the Nationals will decide to stick with Barnaby Joyce, and can Malcolm Turnbull and him patch up things?
I like to think that hopefully what we're going to be having now is a conversation about what is leadership in Australia, because this is a leader of the National Party and also the Deputy Prime Minister, essentially, and these are leaders of our country. Now, adultery aside, let's talk about the responsibility of ministerial code of conduct and those sort of things. And these sort of arguments undermine what we believe about our leaders, is that they have the best interests of the Australian population in their heads and at forefront of all decisions that they're making, and that as humans that make mistakes, but they're always trying to be accountable and responsible and be open and transparent. And what we saw from all sides was not that. And I think it's undermining this idea of what a politician should be, and they need to cut it at its feet really quickly. And whether that means a spill, if that's going to help the stability of the country, I think they need to really seriously consider it.
Wasn't it ramped up, though, much more once both we saw Malcolm Turnbull with his savage criticism of Barnaby Joyce, and subsequently Barnaby Joyce returning in kind, calling the Prime Minister's comments inept? How on earth can those two continue to work together and portray a sense of coalition as we lead up to the next election?
Well, hopefully because they're adults. And not only that, they're professionals, and they should be able to get past sort of playground snippets at each other. And they shouldn't have said it in the first place. You should have had closed door, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Tony Abbott, but I am, closed door conversations. But the bigger issue that we have is, why are we still having these small playground politics? Why are we not leading the country? Why are we not talking about the bigger issues? There have been some very large things going through the political space this week, and yet here we are talking about Barnaby Joyce. And
that's exactly what every government member is saying too. They're getting frustrated by it.
Oh
but
no, now I'm a government member as well. I can't believe this. It's horrible.
Rebecca?
Along with that press conference we saw from Malcolm Turnbull during the week, he of course said that we need to improve and update the ministerial code of conduct, and that includes now essentially banning sexual relations between ministers
call it what it is. It's
and
a
staffers. A bonk ban, yes, if you will.
Thank you, social media.
Now, when Cathy McGowan, the Independent, initially raised something like this quite a few days earlier, and was pretty much dismissed by most members, and said that, look, they can do it in the United States, why can't we do it? And yet, here we are. Are you amazed that we're at this point?
Oh, surprising. I came up with this all by myself. This isn't something that's happened before, or that anybody even 3 days before had said. This is a true statement of where politics is at, is that I won't listen to you until it's out of my mouth, and then everybody should pay attention. What we really are missing in Australia right now is that leadership of what do we stand for as a country. And I probably disagree with Rebecca on Barnaby's political history. I would say that probably what this has brought up is the conversation about whether, if you have standards and you're speaking out again about something like, say, marriage or traditional marriage, and then something comes out in your private life that says that you disagree completely with that, I think there is a moral standard that we have to say to our politicians: you need to be transparent about what you believe in your personal life and how that affects your constituency and the Australian public. And I think that probably the last 6 months have shown that Barnaby is a little bit back and forth on some things, and I think actually his leadership should be questioned.